Why do humans love sitting around a fire? Right now, you probably have hundreds of ways to entertain yourself. You can watch movies, scroll through endless videos, play games, or chat with friends online. But put a campfire in front of you and something strange happens. You stop scrolling. You stop rushing. You just stare. It's oddly relaxing. And here's the weird part. That simple habit might be one of the oldest things humans still do exactly the same way our ancestors did. It's older than cities, older than farming, older than writing, older than almost everything we think of as civilization. So why? Why does a pile of burning wood make modern humans feel safe, calm, and strangely connected? Why can you lose track of time watching flames dance in the dark? To answer that, we have to travel back to a world where fire wasn't entertainment. It was survival. Long before humans knew how to make fire, they feared it. Millions of years ago, lightning strikes regularly ignited forests across Africa. Volcanoes spat rivers of lava across the landscape. Wildfires swept through grasslands without warning, leaving behind blackened trees, roasted animals, and miles of destruction. Most animals ran away. Our ancestors probably did too, but eventually something changed. Instead of only fearing fire, some curious humans began approaching it after the flames died down. Imagine finding an antelope already cooked by a wildfire. The meat would have been softer, easier to chew, and much safer to eat than raw flesh. That discovery may have changed everything. No one knows the exact moment humans first controlled fire. It happened so long ago that the evidence is incredibly difficult to find. Ash disappears. Wood rots. Campsites vanish beneath thousands of years of soil. But archaeologists have uncovered remarkable clues. One of the most famous comes from Wonderwerk cave in South Africa. Inside the cave, researchers found tiny fragments of burned bone and ash dating back about 1 million years. Not outside, deep inside the cave. That strongly suggests ancient humans weren't simply watching wildfires. They were bringing fire home. Think about that. Someone carried burning branches through darkness just to keep a flame alive. That wasn't just courage. It was planning. But here's the thing. Keeping fire alive is much harder than starting one. Without matches or lighters, if your fire went out, you might have to wait days or even weeks before another natural fire appeared. For early humans, a burning log was almost like a family treasure. Someone always had to watch it. Someone always had to feed it. Fire became the center of camp. Literally. Then something extraordinary happened. Around 1.8 million years ago, a human ancestor called Homo erectus was already beginning to look surprisingly familiar. They had longer legs, walked efficiently, and traveled huge distances. Many scientists, including British anthropologist Richard Wrangham, believe fire played a huge role in that transformation. His idea is simple. Cooking changes everything. Raw roots are tough. Raw meat takes forever to chew. Cooking breaks food down before you even eat it, allowing your body to absorb more calories while spending less energy digesting. That extra energy had somewhere to go. Your brain. Human brains are incredibly expensive organs. They use around 20% of the body's energy while making up only a small fraction of its weight. Without enough calories, bigger brains are difficult to support. Cooked food may have solved that problem. In other words, baden is ADS. Dinner helped build civilization. Of course, fire wasn't just a kitchen, it was protection. Picture the African savanna after sunset. Lions, hyenas, leopards. The darkness belonged to predators, but a ring of flames changed the rules. Most dangerous animals naturally avoid fire. Suddenly, humans had something almost magical, a safe place to sleep. That extra security meant better rest, healthier children, and stronger communities. The night became less terrifying, and that's when something even more important began. Conversation. When the sun was up, everyone worked. People hunted, gathered food, made tools, stayed alert. There wasn't much time for long discussions. Night was different. The fire created hours that never really existed before. People sat together. They watched the flames. They talked. Maybe they explained where food could be found. Maybe they warned children about dangerous animals. Maybe they exaggerated yesterday's hunting story just a little. Humans have always been good at that. Over thousands of nights, information started flowing from one generation to the next. Knowledge survived because stories survived. Anthropologists Polly Wiesner studied modern hunter-gatherer societies like the Jew-Hoansi people of southern Africa. She noticed something fascinating. Daytime conversations mostly focused on practical problems. Nighttime conversations around the fire were completely different. People shared myths, told jokes, solved social conflicts, passed on history, dreamed about the future. The fire wasn't just giving off heat, it was creating culture. Here's what makes this so important. Most people think civilization began when humans built cities, but civilization may have started much earlier. earlier, around a fire, because that's where cooperation grew stronger. That's where language became more complex. That's where children learned from grandparents. That's where strangers became tribes. Think about that. A fireplace may have been humanity's first classroom. But there's another mystery. Why do flames still hypnotize you today? Scientists have several ideas. One comes from psychology. The movement of fire is predictable enough to feel safe, but random enough to keep your brain interested. It's constantly changing, yet never chaotic. Another explanation comes from neuroscience. Some studies suggest watching natural fire can lower blood pressure and reduce stress, especially when accompanied by the familiar crackling sounds. Researchers have even compared the effect to certain forms of meditation. Your brain relaxes, not because fire itself is magical, because for hundreds of thousands of years, fire meant something incredibly reassuring. You survived another day. No predators were nearby. Food was cooking. Your family was together. Everything was okay. That emotional association may still linger deep inside your brain, even though you're sitting in a camping chair with marshmallows instead of worrying about saber-toothed cats. Honestly, I think we got the better deal, and yet our love for fire keeps showing up everywhere. Fireplaces remain the centerpiece of homes. People gather around bonfires at the beach. Families sit around backyard fire pits. Candles make restaurants feel romantic. Even videos of fireplaces attract millions of views online. It's just burning wood. Or is it? Maybe what you're really looking at isn't the fire. Maybe you're looking at one of humanity's oldest memories. Not a memory you personally remember. A memory your species remembers. A behavior repeated across hundreds of thousands of years until it became part of what feels normal. Because humans don't simply use fire. We organize ourselves around it. Even today, notice what happens around a campfire. Everyone naturally forms a circle. Nobody plans it. Nobody assigns seats. It just happens. People start talking. Someone tells a funny story. Someone asks a big question. Someone quietly watches the flames without saying anything. And somehow, nobody thinks it's awkward. Try doing that around a microwave. Doesn't have the same effect. That's because a microwave heats food. Fire built communities. There's a huge difference. The incredible part is that every generation since Homo erectus has likely experienced some version of this same moment. Parents teaching children, friends laughing together, old stories becoming new stories, all illuminated by dancing orange light. Empires rose and fell. Languages changed. Entire human species disappeared. But the campfire remained. So here's the full picture. First, our ancestors feared fire. Then they learned to carry it. Then they protected it. Then they cooked with it. Then they slept beside it. Then they gathered around it. Then they shared stories, built stronger relationships, passed down knowledge, and slowly laid the foundations of everything we now call civilization, all because someone decided not to run away from the flames. So the next time you find yourself sitting quietly around a campfire, staring into the glowing embers without really knowing why, you're not wasting time. You're participating in one of the oldest human traditions still alive. The fire in front of you may be modern, but the feeling isn't. Because being human has never just been about surviving. It's been about finding warmth, sharing stories, and gathering together in the light. If you enjoy exploring the hidden history behind everyday human behaviors, there are plenty more ancient mysteries waiting to uncover. Thanks for spending a few minutes around the fire with me, and I'll see you in the next one.